Hi, this is Mike Gray live at SES Chicago, where we just had a fabulous keynote with Daina Middleton. Daina, great job.
Thank you. I'm very honored to be here.
Quite a few things that you touched on that came from the book that you've been writing. A lot of that comes from your experience. And one of the things that we did talk about was the kind of transformation from the chief marketing officer to the chief digital officer. That's a long conversation. But one of the things I asked, is that the same guy or is that a new guy? What do you think?
I think it depends, honestly. I hope that it's all merging to be one marketing department and that there's no delineation between digital anymore, because how can you separate digital from traditional today? It's almost impossible.
So the interesting thing about the book is I am the conventionally trained marketer, and I'm beginning to realize I have to unlearn a lot of the stuff that I did before. But we still do have this habit of saying marketing over here and digital over there. Surely it's all got to be just the one thing now, yeah?
Yeah, you can't separate them. In fact, the big aha moment for me to write the book, honestly, was I was preparing that campaign and I thought, gosh, all of these things interrelate. And I started inviting people to a meeting. And by the time I got done, there were 60 people invited. And I thought, wow, things have to change because you can't separate these things any longer.
So we always say that these smaller companies, particularly those that are involved more on, the digital side of business, are more nimble, they're more agile. They can adapt, they can be a bit more authentic, I guess, with the audience. How do we go about talking to these huge companies like the HPs of this world and making them understand that this is a new kind of environment?
Yeah. The biggest thing that we find most effective is education. So honestly, as agencies, one of the things we're tasked with is helping our clients educate their C-level audience based on what's really motivating them in the C-suite and putting it into their terms. And I think until the C-suite really understands that, then it'll be a slow change, honestly, sadly.
So one thing that you did touch on, you mentioned a lot of the content and the book, but you said that trust was one area that you kind of just touched on a little bit and wished that you talked about that a bit more. What is it about trust?
Well, I think if you think about the values around the nurturist, which I talked about last, there are really 5 values there. The bottom line they are all about trust, and really they start organizationally at the top in terms of a set of values, not just rules. And so I wish I would more have proactively addressed that. I think it comes across subtly, but definitely a key theme and really important in this new space.
So what do you think you're going to do for the follow-up to this book?
I'm writing a book about women in leadership, actually. And somewhat it's similar. If you think about management philosophies and styles, they were built for a time when companies were really difficult to set up and get going. And clearly, like marketing, that's not a problem anymore. And so it's time for a new set of values, and not just for women, but I think this is one place where women can bring some real value to organizations from a leadership standpoint.
Great. Thanks very much, Daina. Great job this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Mike Gray live at SES Chicago. More to come.